right. So why don't you tell us a little bit, you don't have to go into too much details about what, physically happened to you. But why don't you tell us a little bit about, the experience you had as a child?
Well, when I was in foster care, I was a victim of sex trafficking at the age of 12. I had already been raped several times, and that's why I ran away from where I was. And the first time they took me back, the second time the police found me and they took me to foster care. I was in a couple of foster homes. I guess I was too damaged for the foster parents to want me to stay. So they finally took me to a group home at 1463 Pacific Street, where I met a girl named Pee Wee. She was a heroin addict, and she was passing me around to different men. One day I decided to fight back and not let it continue to happen. And after everything happened, I was able to run away, and it must have been like 2 a.m. or something. And I was very fortunate. Instead of going out the front door, I went up the stairs in the building, and I found an apartment that was unlocked. It was vacant, and I hid in there for many hours until a maintenance man found me. And this was February 3rd, I believe it was 1979 maybe. So it was like the middle of winter. It was February 3rd. It was the middle of winter, and I was butt naked. And I remember this maintenance man, he was like so scared when he saw me. And he left. And when he came back with the police. And the policeman, I remember him. He took me to the hospital and he arrested the man downstairs. Because I remember running up the stairs. So I was upstairs. And he arrested Harold Dover, which was at the time, he had to be, I believe he was 54. I just found that out recently, how old he was. And he was 54. He was arrested. The case, he pled innocent. The case went to trial. And he was found guilty. He was sentenced to a year in jail. Pee Wee, they never found Pee Wee. They never found her, so she was never a part of the trial. But her name is all over the transcripts, which I tried to get the transcripts. I believe it was 2017, and I wasn't able to. But I did get all the court dates and the judge and a lot of other stuff. And then I didn't know about this law. I found out about it on Facebook on this group that I follow, foster children. And I had already tried to call a few people and the victims organization in New York. And they were asking me for receipts of what I was wearing at the time. We're talking about. So I kind of let that go. And finding your website was a real coincidence, because I'm a peer specialist. So I'm always looking to see what's going on in the community so that I can continue to educate myself and help my patients. And that's how I came across your website. I never even expected it to be real or anything. I called. I remember it was a Christmas Eve. I never expected a call back. They might call me, in the New Year's. I never expected it to be real. And so I feel a little better. I feel a lot better, even though the PTSD it's not, it doesn't go away. But I feel a lot better. I feel like I finally have a little bit of control of what happened. I want an apology. I wish I could change the law. I wish I could make foster care reform be a thing, because what really triggered my PTSD was the Me Too movement.
Sure.
That really triggered, and I kind of felt, and this is very unfair for me to say, but I felt offended that all these women were getting so much attention, women that with education, with families, with, a lot going for themselves, and they're complaining because somebody might have touched their tit or something. And then all these girls, because I know I'm not the only one, all these little girls in foster care that these things are happening to, nobody speaks up for them.
Sure. Right.
And yeah, so that's kind of like basically it, 60% of children that are victims of sex trafficking in the United States come from foster care. So this is very personal.
I think, and we're having a little bit of a conversation. I think it's, what's important for you to, I know that you understand, you know this, but you're lending, by filing this lawsuit and by hiring our firm to move, to file this lawsuit on your behalf, you're lending your voice to thousands of people in similar situations to you, people that were, sexually abused as children. With a change in the law, your voices are being heard. And what were your thoughts when the law changed and you were able to have your voice heard, to file this lawsuit against the city of New York for what happened to you as a child?
So I feel like I'm gonna, like, it validates me. Like, what happened to me is not just something that happened and, oh well, too bad. When I was going through the trial, there was a social worker there that I had never even seen in my life. I guess they assigned her to that part of my case. And he was sentenced to a year, and no one ever tried to send me to therapy. Nothing was ever done. Like, it was like, oh, okay, this is just, a little girl that got this happened to her, and she was sexually raped, and she was raped multiple times, and it's all good, okay, bye-bye, go ahead and go on about your life. I mean, after that, my life just got worse. Well, I don't know, I won't say worse, but it just continued in that path. I went to Spofford. I went to Tryon. I spent like 3 years in juvenile detention center with girls that had killed their parents. And here I am, a victim of sex trafficking, and that's where they send me instead of sending me to like therapy or something.
Right.
So, and it's not all good. It's not all good.
Right. And of course, nothing that is being done now can take back what has happened to you. But our goal here at Herman Law is to ensure that you have a voice, to ensure that your voice is heard and that people are hearing your story and what happened to you. Do you feel like after having, hired our office and filed, this lawsuit, that you are giving you're getting your chance to tell your story, to tell?
I feel that I'm being validated. Like it's not like, okay, bye-bye, this happened to you, go on about your life. If you have PTSD, this, if you have that, if you, like, suffer from obesity because you don't want anybody to look at your body because of what happened to you. Now I'm finally being heard. Like, what happened to me is being addressed. It's not something that, oh, let's sweep it under the carpet kind of like thing. It's being addressed, and I feel that maybe, just a little maybe, it will be a voice for all those other little girls in foster care.
Right. And that's our goal. Our goal here is to give you a voice and to ensure that your voice is heard, and your voice is being heard through this interview, for example, but it also will be heard through the course of our, the litigation of your case. Our goal is to, go ahead.
I understand that my voice, this lawsuit is for me and my voice, and I want my voice to be heard. But in the back of my head, maybe after the lawsuit, maybe after the lawsuit, maybe I can be a voice for the little girls. Because I know there's a lot of them out there, and I know this is for me, and it's for my healing, and I'm working very hard on healing. I see my therapist consistently. When I run out of that insurance, I go look for another one, and I'm always, trying to take care of my mental health and take care of myself. But later on, I would like for my voice to be someone else's voice.
Barbara, believe it or not, you're already helping those little girls now by coming forward and being brave and telling your story. You are helping those, the girls currently in foster care. You are lending your voice to a group of people, of brave people, and the more people that come forward like you to tell your story, that's how change happens. That's how reforms happen. And you're already doing that. You're already part of of changing, how things are done. And it takes a lot of bravery to do what you're doing.
There are people that are scared and they won't say what happened. Herman Law, particularly the paralegal, she's been amazing. She's always validates my feelings and what I'm going through and my phone calls, and she listens to me, and I feel validated. I feel validated. I feel like I have power. Like I have power over what happened, and I have power over what's going to happen. It makes me feel like I'm not alone anymore, and this is not okay that it happened. It validates those feelings that it's not okay what happened.